Hey there, I think Bitcoin could be having a serious dump soon, and I want to tell you why and give you the tools and information you need to be able to make your own decisions and do your own research on this. First off, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I talk about personal finance and investing, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and business and entrepreneurship. So if any of those things interest you, hit that subscribe button. If you get value from this video, please do smash the like button. It's an entirely free way to help out the channel and allow me to keep providing you free crypto content. So let's get right in. This is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart over the past several days. As you can see, starting around January 3rd, we started to have some pullbacks. And beginning around January 8th, 9th, 10th, we started to have a bigger correction after a consolidation period up here. And for those of you who are familiar with technical analysis, you'll recognize this pattern. And for those of you who are not, this is what we call a head and shoulders pattern, where you see a head over here, shoulders here. And if Bitcoin comes down and touches this lower level and then breaks to the downside, which is around 30K, then we can expect more bearish behaviors for Bitcoin over the coming week or more. I do want to explain that this was predicted on the cycle repeat chart. As you can see, they are predicting a pullback through the end of January, early February, down to levels below 30K. So while this was predicted quite some time ago, I do want to provide you the more up-to-date information, which we are seeing now developing as I'm filming this video. And it'll depend on this consolidation if Bitcoin breaks down or breaks up. Something else to keep in mind as to why this was happening. Around 38K, there was an issue on Coinbase, which we'll talk about now, that Coinbase failed and wasn't registering buys, which meant that if you were using Coinbase or if you were using a system that uses Coinbase, you could not put in a buy order. And so when the only orders for Bitcoin are to sell, the price is naturally going to drop a lot because it looks like on all the algorithms that only things people want to do with Bitcoin is sell it to get out quick, when in reality, Coinbase just failed. And this caused problems with other exchanges and indexes that used Coinbase. And so there's some talk of whether or not futures exchanges should even consider Coinbase because they are notorious for failing when Bitcoin becomes more volatile. But I think this is the first time that they've had an issue where they just don't register buy orders and are effectively able to push the price down from the 38K to cause a chain reaction of what we're seeing now, which was a low point of 30.2K. So that's why we had a bit of a pullback. We were consolidating, and so that pullback was to be expected. And it was exacerbated by Coinbase's failure to allow you to buy. And that cascaded down here. And now that we are printing a head and shoulders pattern, this is a thing with market psychology. So a lot of people that use technical analysis will recognize this pattern and have already been recognizing this pattern. And so they are prepared to pull out if Bitcoin does drop below, because if we hit this and go down, prices will continue to fall. If we hit this and bounce up, prices will go up. So if we do break to the downside, then I think there will be an additional significant amount of sell pressure on Bitcoin, which will drive the prices lower. So you do want to keep an eye out on this and keep this in mind if you're investing in Bitcoin. If you've been following me for a while, you know I more invest for the long term, but a lot of people have been asking me when they should sell or what they should do. And while I can't give you specific advice or financial advice, I want to give you the tools necessary for you to be able to do your own research and make an informed, educated decision for your own financial situation. And as a disclaimer, you should never invest or bet more than you are willing to lose, because for all we know, everything could just plummet and you could lose your entire investments. Kind of like what we saw in the initial pandemic panic wave back in March. So you have the head and shoulders pattern printing, you have the cycle repeat predicting a pullback through the month of January. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is over here, what they call the DXY chart, the DXY US dollar index and US dollar strength. We did see around January 6th up through January 11th, the dollar index increased and the value of the dollar went up relative to other currencies and commodities and things. So that has been shown to cause pullbacks in Bitcoin before. So historically, this was something that we had a precedent for. So if you are looking for more information for you to make your decisions, then you might want to keep this in mind. These graphs are all freely available on TradingView, and you can set up a free account pretty easily. Just link your Google account and you're good to go. If you're interested in a video on how to do this, then comment that below and I will put one out. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the Bitcoin price models that we use regularly on this channel. The stock to flow model was originally created in 2019 and shows what the total supply of Bitcoin is relative to the incoming supply. So as you can see, after halving events, the incoming supply is less, and so it gradually decreases until it stabilizes. And they put numbers attached to these that would indicate the fair value of Bitcoin. And as you can see here, we've kind of exceeded this, and I'll talk more about this on my video on Sunday. So if you're interested in that, hop on for that. But there are some back and forths going on from someone who created what's called the rainbow chart named Eric Wall, and we can actually check this out. And one thing I want to point out to everyone that I've been talking about is that pretty much no matter what chart you use, both the stock to flow model and the rainbow chart are predicting around 100K in the end of 2021. And that's pretty much been my prediction. I think I actually changed my TikTok bio to that, 100K by 2022. And so when you're using these sorts of third-party charts or third-party analysis or platforms or whatever, it's good to get your information from multiple sources. So I try to link resources in my newsletter whenever I send it out. So if you're interested in that, the link is in my bio or on the About page. So check that out. You can also sign up for my email listserv. The link to that is on my link tree. You can see here the get email updates section. So back to our analysis of stuff. So this is some other useful information that you could be using when you're looking at what you think is going to be happening with Bitcoin in the short term. The last thing I want to talk about is the Bitcoin bull run. Typically when we have a bull market, you want the value of Bitcoin to stay below this stock to flow model, because once it gets to the peak after a couple weeks or months, it will overshoot that peak, just like we saw in 2017. So I'm just going to reload this here really quickly. And as you can see, we stayed pretty far below the fair value here back in 2017. And then after some time overshot it and reached pretty significant all-time highs. Whereas before our highest point was around 1,000, the last run was up to 20,000 on some exchanges. And so the value of Bitcoin being above that fair value on the stock to flow model already does indicate that there could be a double top like we saw in 2013, where the top peaked out in April, and then we didn't see those levels again until November timeframe, which is, what is that? April to November is like 6 months. So like half a year, we didn't reach those highs. So it is good that we're experiencing this pullback now, because it allows the parabola to continue. Because as some of you may have seen on the Bitcoin chart, just in general, as you can see, we've just been going absolutely parabolic, and that's not really good for long-term growth. So it's important to have these sort of healthy corrections. And so this was another indicator that I actually talked about in another video on my channel, that we do expect to see us drop below this fair value on the stock to flow model. So that being said, that's pretty much everything I wanted to provide you with for this video. If you got any value from this, please do smash that like button. It's an entirely free way to support the channel. If you are interested in receiving more resources or email updates on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, personal finance and investing, or business and entrepreneurship, I do have a listserv set up. The link is in my bio, and I will link down below in the description. I'm only allowed to have 50 people sign up for that before they start charging. So get in now, because I don't know if I'm just going to stop accepting people or if I'm going to have to start charging for that. So either way, you want to get on early. If you are interested in learning more about personal finance and investing, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, or business and entrepreneurship, hit that subscribe button, hit bell button, and then for notifications, and then select all. That way you are informed as soon as I post a new video with potentially time-sensitive content. I'm still fairly new to YouTube. Most of my experience has been in person through blockchain consulting or financial analysis or serving as a success coach and wealth coach. So I'm still kind of finding my feet in the whole digital presentation platforms. I would like to start posting more regularly and on a set schedule so you know exactly when I'm posting. If you have any suggestions for times in particular that work well on YouTube, then please do put those in the comments. I would really appreciate that. That's pretty much it for this video. Continue to check in on my TikTok and here on YouTube Shorts for daily Bitcoin updates. And I will continue to cover the news as it happens for you during this Bitcoin bull run. Take care, and I'll see you soon. One last thing, I am holding a Bitcoin deep dive on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube, and I will be live, so I will be available to answer your questions after going through Bitcoin updates in a longer format where I explain what the charts are, how to access them, and what they can tell you. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Either join the live and get your questions answered, or just watch the video once the live gets posted to YouTube. And don't forget to smash that like button.